Hi, this is Stephanie from Steph's Tarot Readings and Interpretations, and this is for entertainment purposes only, and it's just my interpretation. But today we received a notification through work stating that we no longer have to wear masks if we're vaccinated, fully vaccinated, and if you're not, then you do have to still wear a mask. And I know a lot of schools in the area, or states in this area, are also lifting their mask mandates, particularly in schools. So I was wondering, and I'm kind of conflicted with this because every time we lifted masks or gotten way too comfortable, although, I mean, it is getting to be warmer weather. So during the warmer weather, the COVID wasn't as bad. Last 2 years because everybody was outside or sitting outside or whatever. But we're still inside, and we probably will be for at least another month and a half here in the Mid-Atlantic. For the most part, I mean, we're going to be having some fairly decent weather. But anyway, I'm afraid that even though the vaccination rates are fairly high and right now, so most of the people who are protected, people are still getting COVID, coming down with COVID, but not as severely if they're vaccinated as compared to people that are not. And I'm just wondering if this, by now dropping the mask mandate, is now going to increase the amount of people catching COVID again. I know that there's another variant out there somewhere. I don't know if it's reached our shores or it has, but I don't know, what it's doing. I just know that the cases have dropped, thank God. But I just wanted to get a bit of an idea to see. I think I'm probably going to just not wear the mask in work. When I still go into stores, I still will, but I want to be free of the mask too. But I understand its importance, and knock on wood, I have not ever gotten COVID that I know of. I may have been asymptomatic. I've known so many people. My mother unfortunately passed away at the end of 2020 from COVID. But I have been fortunate not to get it. I really don't want to get it, but we'll see. So what I want to see is, my question is, will we be opening the gates of COVID for COVID to come back in again now that we're relaxing the mask mandates? Are we relaxing or opening the gates or opening the door to COVID? Increase in COVID cases now that we're relaxing mask mandates? Will we have to shut down again? Are we going to allow COVID to ramp up again now that we're relaxing mask mandates? Okay, so let me cut the cards and we'll go from here. The first card is Moon, which are secrets and things that we don't know. This is in the past. And again, like I have with my other readings, it's kind of like a running reading. This could be what has been in the past, but it still certainly is now too. I mean, in the past we didn't know as much as we do now as far as COVID. But we also don't know what COVID is doing now. Is it mutating? Is it doing anything else? Oh, that's lovely. Ten of Swords. It means the end. It also means, it symbolizes the ending and also the beginning of a new phase. And that's kind of a garish card. oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm not even showing you the cards. Oh my goodness, okay. I'm going to start again. Right now I have, here's the moon cards, first card, which I call pretty much the past card. And that's pretty much of secrets and the unknown and the intuition. And we had a lot of unknowns with COVID, and COVID has mutated a couple of times. The Omicron one, fortunately, seems to be less deadly than, excuse me, Delta. But then again, we also have more people that are vaccinated at this time, and at the time when Omicron came out. And now again, as I said before, there's a new variant wandering around, but who knows what else is happening with this virus, this new disease, this new illness. Disease isn't a good word, but illness. And I mean, it could be mutating to something else now. We don't know, and that's what this represents. This is something that's beneath the surface. Some people, if you use your intuition, if you go by your gut feelings, if you're that type of person that, you know, if something doesn't feel right or your antenna goes up, it just doesn't sound right, you might get the feeling like, yeah, something else might come up with this. And I don't think we're ever really going to be done, in my opinion, with COVID. I think it will end up being like the new flu. And I honestly think that we're going to have to start taking, getting flu shots too annually, if you decide you want to take them. I just think that this is here to stay. But that's my opinion again. Now we have the Ten of Swords, which symbolizes endings, as you can see the dead person with 10 swords in their back and neck and head and all that. But 10s symbolize the end of a cycle and also the beginning of a new one. But it also depends on how severe. And this person is obviously, well, been stabbed in the back. And to be stabbed in the back means you don't know what's coming up behind you. So, which is another issue with COVID, because we don't know what's coming up behind us with COVID. And now that masks are, regulations are being lifted in many places, including my company, this is not, to me, a very positive card to show the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new cycle. There are other 10s that are a lot more positive, like the 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups. The 10 of Rods is overloaded, overworked, overwhelmed. This is, I'm not going to say dead and buried, but you kind of get where I'm going with this. So now for the future card, okay, the King of Swords. So now this is telling me that we have people working on, what's going on, keeping abreast of what is going on in the world with regards to COVID. And we might find out the truth, swords, or truth, or thoughts or ideas, information, and we might find out more than what we might not want to really know. And it's a king too. And I'd say in this situation, in this world of COVID that we've known for the last now the last 2 years, this COVID is king, and we can't. We don't have a control over the king. If it was a page, that would be one thing. If it was a knight, that would be one thing. King is a king, or the emperor is the emperor. And to me, this is telling me COVID still holds control over us. So I have a feeling that, yeah, we're going to let our guard down again. And I get it. Businesses want to get back to business. People want to get back to a life. I'm tired of wearing the mask too. And now that we do have a way to protect ourselves uh, with the vaccine and perhaps more booster shots, who knows? I do not know. We can perhaps massage our regulations a little bit more around COVID until until a next wave comes along. So for some clarifiers, okay, we have the sun. And the sun is actually good. That's good news. That's illumination. That it that to me that's an interesting card, because after especially this doom and gloom, and the way I'm interpreting this King of Swords as being really COVID and being in control. The sun. Let me draw another card. Okay, this is the Hangman. So the Hangman means we're undecided. We're just not just hanging out, but we're also, and here we go. My apologies. I'm going to move these down. Okay. I'll get this straight eventually. I'll move my candle a bit. And the Hangman means we're at a standstill, or we're also looking things from a different direction, which maybe that's what the illumination from the sun means, is that if we look at it from in a different light, we might be able to come up with more solutions, understand it better. But it also, to me, the sun can also mean that we are dealing with COVID better. It's in our life. We are handling it. I mean, it's certainly not like the beginning when all of a sudden it came. And my God, I remember at work, and it was like, you could tell, like the clock was ticking. And before you knew it, we get the notification that, okay, as of such and such date, March, I think it was 16th for us, we were closing the doors. Because March 16th of 2020, we were closing the doors because it was getting that bad. And I was laid off for several months, and I was able to go back to work, but remotely. And that was the weirdest thing ever, other than like 9/11. I mean, that's a totally different ball game. But I mean, that was just so surreal. I'm sure all of you remember. But let's pull another card and see what that says. Okay, so then that means, but yes, there's still gonna be disappointment. So these, the Three of Swords, through the heart, heartbreak, sadness, loss. We're gonna let our guard down, and in my opinion, we're just going to, oh, okay, now I get it with the sun. All right. COVID is the King of Swords, and he's saying, you don't know everything that I know, and I'll show you in a little bit. But in the meanwhile, while you're taking the mask off, and having a good time and being happy by playing in the sun and being with friends and family again, I'm going to still be around. I'm still going to be hanging around. So if I were you, I would keep one eye open, or just keep watching the news and just be aware that or take a look. Okay, take a different look from the perspective of now, okay, now we're not wearing masks anymore, but realize that we are opening the door up for another wave of COVID to come up. So keep, this is indecisiveness. This is also looking at it in a different light. So don't confuse the fact that now we're not going to be mandated to wear masks with the fact that everything's okay. You need to look at it from the point that COVID may be coming back again. And then the Three of Swords in the heart means heartbreak and more sickness and more, unfortunately, probably more deaths too. I don't want to say I hope you enjoyed this reading, but I hope it makes sense to you. And please like and subscribe. I enjoy doing this. I do plan on doing Celtic crosses, but I'm still trying to get my get this together and become more comfortable reading and sharing my thoughts with you on my questions and also on the cards that I draw. So thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.